I haven't mentioned yet, but boy, we're going to only be here for a little bit because we got to turn it over to the Nationals Radio Network. We got live baseball coming up. Yankees Nationals today, 5:05 p.m. They're going to resume a game from back on May 16th. It's tied up at 3 at the bottom of the 6th inning, and then they'll play another game tonight at 7 o'clock. So that's right here on 252 ESPN Radio. But right now I'd like to go to our phone lines as – hold on. We have phone issues. I'm guessing this is Brian North joining us. Brian?
My phone's on vacation still, apparently.
Well, if it's not you on vacation or just coming back from vacation, we have one foot out the door because at the end of this week we're going on vacation. But hey, man, happy Monday! Welcome back to Eastern North Carolina.
Thank you. It's vacation's always great, but a normal routine, and sometimes I missed out on a lot of stuff. Normally, I try and take my 2-week vacation when there's absolutely nothing going on, so I don't miss anything. But we had coaches being hired, we had guys turning pro, we had guys picking colleges, we had all sorts of stuff happening. So yeah. It's been a fun-filled 2 weeks I've missed out on. So trying to get back in the swing of things here.
Well, let's actually start off on the golf because that's what everybody's talking about today, and it's not even Koepka winning. It is really Phil Mickelson. And does what he did on Saturday offend you from a golf standpoint, Brian? Are you offended, and has Phil Mickelson disgraced the game of golf?
Oh, stop it. This is golf's problem and was its problem for so many years, is these rule snipers who sit there and want everything to be perfect. Look, I know it's a grand game, and it's all about respect, and it's all about honoring yourself, blah, 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 blah. When it's about television ratings and getting fans interested, go have some fun. Look, it is what it is. He took his 2-stroke penalty. Let's move on with life. My God. Phil Mickelson has always been a little bit on the gray area anyways. He's an admitted gambler. He was investigated for possible stock fraud or insider trading, which never stuck. So look, Phil Mickelson's never been a guy who's real solid about the rules as it is. So I have zero issue with what he did. In fact, it's fun. John Daly did the same thing many years ago, and no one wanted John Daly kicked out of golf.
I'm so just perplexed by everybody complaining about it because I have played golf and I've gone and screwed around on a golf course, and I've seen countless of my buddies and other people go out there and blatantly disrespect the game of golf in far worse ways on the golf course. So I want to know, what is the most disrespectful thing to the game of golf that Brian North has ever done out on the links?
Oh, gosh, man. Where do you start with that one? I've been known to be passionate. Passionate's the right word, right? Passionate.
Yes.
And so when something didn't go the way I thought it would be, sometimes my passion comes out. So I've been known to test the aerodynamic abilities of golf clubs.
I love it. Yeah, and nothing. I've been frustrated enough that I have thrown my club further than I could hit the actual ball with it, which furthers my frustration, right? Like, gosh.
See, what I've done before is when the ball hasn't gone that far, I'm just throwing my club up to the ball in order to, hit the next shot. That's all I was doing.
That's where I'm going to take my drop right there. You and I've talked.
Look, I understand. It's a gentleman's sport, and I understand it's an honor sport. I get all those things. But, my God, people, loosen up. Relax. It's okay. He took his penalty. He admitted to doing something wrong. He took his penalty. If you want to make hitting a moving ball such a horrible thing, then make it automatic disqualification if you do it, which is what people want anyway.
Which is basically what he got when he posted a 10 on the hole.
Wow.
Whatever. Whatever. Phil Mickelson's fine. He's got enough money, enough wins in his life. The last thing anyone's going to remember is him hitting a moving ball.
Yeah, you and I have talked. I enjoy when the golfers didn't seem to like it. What do you take off of the golfers who were outwardly, I guess, critical of the way the U.S. Open played out, the difficulty of the course? Because you and I have talked. I love watching them struggle at least twice a year, and it's usually U.S. Open and then the Open Championship in Britain or Scotland or wherever. Because I told Sam earlier, it makes them look a little bit more like me on the golf course, the struggles. Because, I mean, oftentimes we watch them play, and they're 17 under, 18 under, 20 under for the weekend.
Yeah.
Man, I've never had a weekend like that.
I like to see them do amazing things because they do things that we can't do. So I do like to see that, but we see that 100 other times during the year. I like to see them challenged and have to be creative and have to really work. You want to see your best at their best. So I have zero problem with it. Look, the course is the same for everybody. If it was different for different guys, if they only had to play, let's say, 12 of the 18 holes and everybody played different combinations, then you might have an issue with the difficulty of it. But everybody has to play the same 18 holes, and it is what it is. Quit complaining. The course is the course. Someone is going to win who gets around that course in less strokes than anybody else. So I have zero problem with it. Look, it becomes an ego thing. No one likes to look bad. No one likes to be made a fool of, and sometimes I think that's what it is. They feel like they're being tested unfairly. But any true competitor will take on any test or challenge that's presented.
Well, as we head towards now this time of year, and you and I have talked about it, about the sports world right now, it gives us a chance to get ready for football season. Before we know, guys are actually going to be reporting to camps. I think it's at the end of July. But in between now and then, from a local standpoint, it dries up. We do still have the College World Series coming up, baseball in itself, these golf tournaments. But you know, as I said, I think this is the great time of year for a lot of those sports people. Hey, listen, check in, check out. This is the time of year where everybody gets a chance to take a little bit of a breather. And as I don't, this past weekend, I was actually excited that it was a Father's Day weekend where there wasn't a NASCAR race. There wasn't, you know, it was very limited, to U.S. Open, World Cup. I mean, you were pretty limited when it comes to sporting events on Father's Day.
Yeah. Well, look, we all need to check out of this stuff every now and then. I didn't turn the TV on at all. I forgot the U.S. Open was even on. That's how far checked out I was. But that's healthy. We need things like that every now and then in our lives for distraction, especially when we do this for a job. So when you're locked in all the time, and it's not just 9 to 5. I mean, I wake up in the morning, you got to check the phone. You got to make sure you're not missing any important messages about any important announcements. And then it goes on for the next 18 hours of the day. So you get so few breaks that when you get this time that you can mentally just change gears a little bit, not completely check out, but change gears. It's important. It's good for all of us. Even a sports fan needs to have some time with family and get some things done. Now, having said that, I tell anybody in the sports world, if you want to be made a big deal of, if you want your face plastered all over the Sportscast newscast, do it now in the summer. So we've got a kid from Farmville Central today who's making his police announcement. We've got Barton College, I believe, is announcing who their first ever football coach is going to be tomorrow. So that's what I tell people. Do it now because, man, you'll be believed. You'll get all sorts of stuff. You do it when there's 18 million other things, you're going to get about 10 seconds of airtime, and that's maybe, if you're lucky, we can squeeze it in.
And I just wanted to say, and I'll break this right here on the show and tie this all together. I'm going to withdraw my name from consideration for the Barton head coaching job. It's not going to happen.
I'm curious as to who that's going to be. Building a program is always so tough, but they're turning this thing around and they're playing in 2020. So, they've got somebody coming in who's got to get right to recruiting. So that's going to be interesting as well. So I look forward to see who it is. If it's somebody local, if they're trying to go elevate somebody from the high school ranks, or if they're bringing in a college coach who's never made it at the highest level. I find it fascinating, so I'll be looking forward to that. And also, you had a kid like Dayron Sharp from South Central, highly recruited, snuck in that he's verbally committed to North Carolina last night. So that became a big story.
I didn't know that.
Another slower day. So he spurned Sam's NC State money-wielding Wolfpack. And
he would have just transferred in a year anyways. That's what happens to every good freshman we get. He would have just transferred in a year. It doesn't matter. Look, Brian, I do want to give Mark some credit here because as both of you are talking about how this is sort of the doldrums of sports, we have been, I guess, blessed. Most of the world thinks we're blessed. I personally don't, but this is one of those 4 years where we have the World Cup going on. Mark, inexplicably, has not even brought the World Cup up on today's show.
I've been good.
Though earlier today, around 2 o'clock, he's like, I need to make sure I tune into this England and Tunisia game. I have not watched any of the World Cup yet. I'm curious what your thoughts are and your interest level in the World Cup is.
Well, certainly I'm jingoistic, and with the U.S. not being involved for the first time since, 1996, 88, somewhere around there,
88.
a long time. So
94? 86, maybe.
Yeah, I guess I'm off on my years. I know they hosted in 94 because that was a huge deal when we hosted. And then, so anyways, so when the U.S. is involved with soccer, when it comes to soccer, I need a rooting interest like my country or a local team or somebody like that. So when my country is not involved and I am not one of those guys who counts myself, my ancestral heritage, I don't even know what it is. So you're not going to see me waving a
somewhere up north,
whatever
I'm sure,
European country flag I may be from. So, but having said that, look, there's some drama there, and I'll keep a real side eye on it. Mexico beating Germany, eye opener, great. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I'll watch the highlights. It takes about 10 seconds. Jimmy Kimmel used to do this thing where he'd go World Cup highlight of the day. And it'd be guys just like dribbling around and not doing anything like a pass in midfield and stuff. And so I always kind of prescribe to that theory. And I'm a guy who played soccer. We didn't have football in my high school. So I had to play soccer if we wanted to play a fall sport. And I always tell people it's like rugby without using your hands. We used to just kickball, kick it to the corner, run as fast as you can, hit people on the way down through, and eventually maybe the ball goes in the net and you score. So I don't have I have an appreciation for the highest level of what these guys do. It's great. I just have a hard time committing to 2 hours of sitting there watching guys fall down and feign injury every 10 minutes.
Yes. I mean, and that's just the NBA. Oh, I'm sorry. So besides, you were talking about taking this 2 weeks off when you head back now and listen, you've got news duties. And it's really about the local sports for you from here to there. But you and I have talked, and I want to kind of get back to this idea of, this is because Sam's about to take this vacation next week, and he's going to tie sports into it, and I commend him for that. Mm-hmm. Now the week after that, I'm going to encourage him to disconnect because you brought up a great fact, and I think the listeners and we should. I know all of our bosses are screaming at us right now because they're like, no disconnect. Always stay connected. What are you talking about? But every now and then, and I do this with my phone. And please tell me people with mobile phones do this. Like, don't you, cut that thing off or, put it in a room somewhere for, at least an hour or two a day and get away from it?
I'm 24 years old. I've never done that in my life.
When I take my vacation up... When I take my vacation up to the farm, that's what I do in June. I do a 2-week vacation to help out my parents as they get older, and just do farm work. One, we don't get great reception up there, so I just leave the phone in the room. I'll wake up and I'll check it, and then when I go to bed, I'll check it. So I go the whole day without looking at the thing. Maybe occasionally, but for the most part, I don't even pay attention to my phone. So barely look at the Twitter, barely look at Facebook unless I have some notifications pending. But for the most part, I disconnect. It's great. Except for Ariel Epstein texted me 3 times a day trying to find out stuff. But outside of that,
I'm gonna. There was a joke there. I'm gonna stop. But no, what? So you've never been off the grid at all? You never disconnected yourself from the technology, Sam?
I mean, no. I mean, I try not to lump myself in with millennials, but I can't honestly say that I don't go 15 minutes without checking my phone. Hang on, I just got a tweet right here. But no, I can't do that.
Look,
I can't. I physically can't.
There's an addiction to it. Look, if I've left my phone somewhere and didn't mean to, you leave your phone at home, you walk out the door, which I'm sure Sam has never done. But us older people, sometimes we forget it. You walk out the door, the first 10, 15 minutes, you're like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? Oh, my God. And then you realize life goes on. You actually are paying attention to where you're driving. You're actually greeting people and talking to them and having conversations with them. I mean, it's amazing what happens when your head is not buried down. I always said we're going to be Tyrannosaurus Rexes. We're going to have short little arms with big thumbs, and we're going to have heads necks that crane down. We can never look up and see up anymore because of how we're conditioning our bodies right now with these stupid phones. So, Sam, try it one day, man. Even if it's not a work day, maybe even better, not a work day, leave the phone at home and go to the beach and see what happens. You'll actually see people. You might even actually talk to a few.
But if I go to the beach and I don't take a picture and put it on Snapchat or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, did I actually go to the beach? I'm confused. I'm not following the logic here, but I might try to give it a shot at some point.
You'll actually have a physical memory. And look, I have this conversation with our millennials in our newsroom all the time. They have the worst memories of any human beings I've ever been around. And here's my theory on it. Okay, here's my theory. Because when you have this phone, you're constantly looking at it, getting stimuli from it. You never give yourself an opportunity to think, to reminisce, to exercise your memory, exercise your brain. So they don't have a memory muscle because they've never exercised it. They everything they can Google whatever answer they want instead of actually having to sit and ponder and burn that memory muscle and try and figure out what's happening. So we had one person, I'm not going to name their name, but we had a reporter here who was living in New Bern for more than a year. She had a work phone and a personal phone. Both of them died. She was at Creekside Park over in James City and did not know how to get back to the station.
I'm not quite that bad off, man.
That's a great story.
But my point being is, you don't pay. You rely on this little voice to tell you to turn left and turn right. They don't pay attention to anything. So every now and then, it's okay to exercise your brain. It's okay to actually. One of the things I love to do when I drive, I always drive back and forth to New York. Man, I turn the radio off. I just drive and I think, and I solve all the world's problems. I solve all of my problems. I come up with ideas for the upcoming football season. I come up with all these things because you allow yourself time to think. When you're constantly in your phone, you're waiting to be stimulated as opposed to actually being proactive in your thinking process.
Yeah,
I just went way too long on this crap, but that's just it drives me crazy.
I think it's fine. I think I'm going to echo that. I mean, I think every time I kind of disconnect, what I realize is you feel that need. I mean, you feel that sort of want, and I got to be connected, and I got to do this. What I notice is, wow, the world went on without me. The internet world went on without me, and I can just pick up right where I left off, and it doesn't really even matter. And as you were talking about, I've got that time. I guarantee you, next week, good luck getting up with me between Tuesday and Friday, because
in between going to brunch.
Yeah, there's a reason God created voicemail and He created text messaging and things like that. You'll respond eventually.
Yes.
Just leave a message, man. I'll get back to you. Don't get all upset when it's not in 5 minutes. I'll get back to you eventually.
Well, for folks listening, you can get more Brian North by checking out News Channel 12 at 5, specifically at 5:30, because there's a lot of Brian North around that time. Then there's News Channel 12 at 6 and 11, but you can also catch Brian on Fox Eastern Carolina. Get your news early and an hour of it as opposed to that paltry 30-minute stuff that they dish out over at WCTI. But we love them at WCTI. I love the app, WCTI app. It's free on your Google or Apple device, or go to WCTI12.com.
So here we just hammer all cell phones and how evil they are, but we want you to tune in and have your cell phone by your side and look up your app and my Facebook post and my Twitter post and all that stuff later. So.
Such a hypocritical old man.
Yes. Yes. And check out, we're going to stream this video live on Facebook later.
Yep. There you go.
Man, great to talk to you.
There you go.
We will talk to you 3 weeks from today. We will talk to you again. Wow.
Here's the thing. I'll check my phone occasionally and see if you've left me a message, and we'll get back to you.
Yes, absolutely. Have a great one, Brian. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Enjoy all your vacations, fellas. Enjoy it. Today is the only day promised.
Absolutely. Sports Trivia Battle is next.